We'll call this city council meeting of April 10th to order. Would you call a roll, please?
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers, Williams, Miller,
Yes. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of March 27th, regular session.
I move we approve the minutes of March 27th, 2023.
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes. Next is presentations, Mr. Hank Slagle.
This time every year, I get the privilege of presenting the council with their annual pay for the year. $1. That is true dedication to public service. And so we want to acknowledge and appreciate their service for the community and what they do each year. And awesome, Hank. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know where to spend it all.
And we have it also for the two that aren't here. Hopefully they'll show up. I did want to say a couple extra words. This is Councilmember Shivers, Ayanna Shivers' last meeting. And it's certainly been an honor and a pleasure getting to know her as a council member, as a person, and being able to serve with her the last 3 years.
Thank you, Mr. Slagle. Next item is a certification of general election results. Mr. Slagle, again.
Yes, Your Honor. You have before you the certified results of the election. And, well,
There she goes.
you just missed all the nice words that were said about you.
I was trying to get your pictures.
It was short.
I was surprised it was any. I was surprised there was any. Matt, are you doing pictures?
I'll try to hear one.
Stan, we'll do the presentation again.
We can do it. He said it's going to be afterwards.
Afterwards.
Okay, so we're on to the election results. There was 2 seats for council, and the 2 highest vote getters, Steve Hay and Larry Weber. And we have the certified canvass results from the county clerk, Lisa Smith, indicating that. And we also have the ballot question in regards to implementing a 3% tax on marijuana sales, and that passed as well, and that certified results you have before you as well, council. So we would need a motion to accept those results, and probably should do each motion separately.
Each candidate or the candidates together?
Candidates can go together, and then the
Marijuana, okay.
ballot question separately.
I move we accept the results for the candidates.
second. Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
I move we accept the tax for 3% tax for marijuana.
second. Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes. This time will be the oath of office. Mr. Slagle.
Mr. Weber,
so moved.
you want to do which, Mr. Hague first?
We'll do Hay first.
Okay.
Mr. Hay. Okay, would you come? And repeat after me. State your name. I
I, Steve Hay, Hague,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and that I will faithfully demean myself
and I will faithfully demean myself
in the office of the City Council
in the office of the City Council
for the City of Mexico, Missouri,
for the City of Mexico, Missouri,
for which I was elected
for which I was elected
on the 4th day of April, 2023.
on the 4th day of April, 2023.
Sign, please. Ms. Weber. I state your name.
I, Larry Weber,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
the Constitution of the State of Missouri.
and that I will faithfully demean myself
I will faithfully demean myself
in the office of the City Council
in the office of the City Council
for the City of Mexico, Missouri,
for the City of Mexico, Missouri,
for which I was elected
for which I was elected
on the 4th day of April,
the day of April 2023.
Sign, please.
You're going to have to make those shorter next time. I can't remember.
I know.
At this time, we have the election of mayor and chairman pro tem, and we turn this over to our city attorney. We look good.
Thank you, Mayor. For that election, we first need to adopt rules. The city previously adopted a policy that no member of the city council would serve more than 2 consecutive one-year terms as mayor. Now, that's a policy that you can maintain or repeal. As for the actual election, we'll consider the office of mayor first. When I open the floor for nominations, I'll require a nomination and a second. If there's more than one nomination, 3 votes are required to win the office. If no candidate receives 3 votes, you'll vote again. If no candidate receives 3 votes on the second vote, you'll vote a third time. If no candidate receives 3 votes after a third vote, we'll draw names. And we'll follow those same election rules for election of the chairman pro tem. So first, does anyone offer any amendments to those election rules? If not, I'll call for a motion and second to adopt those election rules.
So moved.
Second.
And then, Madam Clerk, if you would do a roll call vote, please.
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
All right, we'll begin with the office of mayor, and I'll open the floor for nominations for that office.
I nominate Vicky Briggs as mayor.
I second it.
Other nominations? If there's a motion to close the nominations, please.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Marcy, if you could call the roll, please.
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Marcy, if you would call the roll on the nomination of Vicki Briggs to serve a one-year term as mayor of the City Council of the City of Mexico.
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
All right, we'll move to the office of Chairman Pro Tem, and I'll open the floor for nominations for that office, please.
I nominate Steve Hague for chairman pro tem.
I second.
Any other nominations? Seeing none, is there a motion to close nominations for that office?
So moved.
Second.
Marcy, would you call the roll, please?
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
And then, Marcy, would you please call the roll on the nomination of Steve Hague to serve a one-year term as Chairman Pro Tem, please?
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Mayor Briggs, I'll turn the meeting back
Well,
over.
thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, I was going to stand and take over.
We just shoved the hammer
So
down.
excited about this.
Here, I'll turn mine over, so, there you go.
Well, before we begin with anything else, I'd like to say a personal thanks to you, Ayanna. You've been a really good council person, and and a mayor, and I've enjoyed your friendship, and I'm going to miss you. Of course, I hope you will call me for lunch once in a while, but anyway. And congratulations to you, Steve, and you, Larry, on being elected to the council. And Chris, I think we all owe you a special special gratitude for serving as mayor. Those are awfully big shoes to follow, and I've appreciated your friendship and your help all this time.
Go show me up.
Okay. All right, well, let's move on with the meeting so we can get this done with. The first thing on the agenda, the next thing on the agenda is a public hearing. Do we have to have a vote on?
We'll have to have a motion.
I move we open the
Okay.
public hearing.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of having a public hearing?
Got a roll call.
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
All right, the publish of this, the reason for this public hearing is to consider a request from Envoy Solar LLC and Mark Corman LLC for an additional use permit to construct a commercial solar farm on various parcels comprising Envoy Solar LLC properties. Now, before we begin, let me just state what the rules are for a public hearing. You will have 3 minutes to speak. You will get up and state your name and your address. And I'm going to ask you to make sure that you are speaking so that I can hear you. Okay, I'm a little hard of hearing. So if you would just make sure I see your mouth, I'll be fine with you. So, anyway.
With a presentation from staff.
So we will start with a presentation from Rita.
Petitioner will also have a presentation.
Do it.
The petitioner will also have a presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, council. As stated, this public hearing concerns a request for an additional use permit from Envoy Solar LLC, Mark Carmen LLC, to construct a commercial solar farm on various parcels comprising Envoy Solar LLC properties as listed below, and as you can see outlined in red on the attached map. These parcels of land are located south of Vanderbilt Village and Norfolk and Western Railroad, east of AP Green Facility, and west of Highway 54. This property is currently zoned I-2 Heavy Industrial. Article 11, Additional Use Regulations, Section 42678, additional buildings and uses authorized upon permit obtained. So basically what they're saying, in addition to the building and uses of building and land authorized elsewhere in the chapter, the following buildings and uses shall be permitted in the various districts pursuant to a permit both first being obtained. So basically, number 16 shows commercial solar farms facilities in accordance with section 42-1006. The proposed Envoy is a 50 megawatts utility scale solar project that will be connected directly to the electrical grid of Ameren, Missouri, which is located on the east side of Highway 54. An additional land disturbance permit was issued on March 1st, 2023 for the clearing of trees and rough grading within the project. This was issued after a review by the city staff to ensure that stormwater best management practices significantly address stormwater quality and quantity concerns. Staff is still in a review process. However, there are no concerns with the site reaching compliance with the city ordinance and MS4 permit requirements. Section 42681 of the City of Mexico Code states that each such application received by the city is reviewed by the Planning and Zoning Commission for investigation and report as to the effect such building or use will have upon traffic, fire hazards, and the character of the neighborhood and the general welfare of the community. A report and recommendation shall be filed with City Council. Notices were sent to 13 surrounding property owners within 300 feet of the request. City staff, at the time prior to the Planning and Zoning meeting, received 2 telephone calls requesting additional information and written correspondence from, sorry if I mispronounced it, Amundsen Davis Law Firm in St. Louis, Missouri, representing ELT Mexico LLC and Three Amigos Farm LLC, stating opposition to the proposed solar farm. As stated earlier, City Code requires that City Council conduct the public hearing and to make determination of whether the applied for use will, number 1, substantially increase traffic hazard or congestion. There should be no increased traffic due to the area is not open to the public. Number 2, substantially increase fire hazards. Due to a substantial number of trees and amount of vegetation removed from the site, there should not be an increase of fire hazard. Number 3, adversely affect the character of the neighborhood. No, there are not any neighborhoods in the immediate vicinity of the project. And in an I-2 zoning, you cannot have residential housing. If you have residential housing in an I-2, that is because it was actually there when the codes were actually instated. Number 4, adversely affect the general welfare of the community. No, the project will be located in the I-2 heavy industrial district. Number 5, overtax public utilities. No, there will be no utilities affected by the project. The city's comprehensive plan shows this area as an employment anchor, which is a business park. And what goes in a business park under that classification, it represents a wide range of employment, such as office, manufacturing, assembly, warehousing, distribution, storage, recycling plants, production plants, fabrication, refinery, and power plants. On April 4th, 2023, the Planning and Zoning Commission met to consider this request and made recommendation of approval to the City Council. The minutes of that meeting are attached in your package. If the council's findings are negative to all of the above, then the application shall be granted. If the findings are affirmative as to any of the above, then the permit shall be denied. Approval or denial of the permit is done in the form of a motion. Staff recommends the council conduct the advertised public hearing, which was advertised on March 25th and April 1st, and make a motion to grant or deny the request for an additional use permit for Envoy Solar LLC and Mark Harmon LLC to construct Envoy Solar on various parcels comprising Envoy Solar LLC properties as referred above. And at this time, we do have David Bungie in the audience, which would like to give a few remarks regarding their project.
Do we need to hear, wait a minute, Rita, do we need to hear Mr. Corman next?
He's representing Mr. Corman.
You're representing Mr. Corman. David?
I'm representing the project.
Okay, good. You're next.
Just to clarify on the timing, so I've got 3 minutes, and I'd also like to have Mr. Corman up with that.
He gets, yeah.
He gets his own.
Yeah.
Okay, just to confirm. All right. Got it.
Sure.
presentation. I'll try to move fairly quickly through it.
Thank you.
Thanks. We need his name and address.
Name and address.
Name and address, David.
Yes, my name is David Bunky. I'm president of Azimuth Renewables, and our address is 34 North Brentwood in St. Louis, Missouri. Thank you for the opportunity tonight, and thank you for the consideration of our application. We are extremely excited about this project. As someone that grew up in Mexico and has worked in the solar industry for over 10 years, it's been a long-term ambition of mine to find an opportunity to give something back to my hometown. And I think this project is exactly that. Just a quick overview of our company. So as I said, we're based in St. Louis, Missouri. We're a development company. We have focused on the upfront development of this project opportunity. We focus heavily on our home market in Missouri and Illinois. This is one of a portfolio of projects that we're working with Birch Creek Energy on this year to bring into construction and commercial operation in Missouri and Illinois. Birch Creek is also a St. Louis-based company. They will be owning and operating the facility and have been a great partner to work with, and are also excited about the opportunity to bring the project online and the investment that it represents in the local community. Click through here. As I mentioned, I've been in the industry for some time. I've worked on projects all across the country of various sizes, including some of the first projects that have been brought online here in Missouri. I was involved at various points in projects in Nixa, Springfield, as well as the project in Columbia. And then we've also, as I mentioned, partnered with Birch Creek. Dan Siegel is with us here tonight. He brings a wealth of experience from the financing and long-term ownership of these facilities, having worked at U.S. Bank, which has been one of the largest investors in renewables over the past decade. Given the time constraint, I'm probably going to skip over this slide, but the focus tonight is on what we typically call utility scale solar projects, which is a large ground-mounted facility that will be providing power directly into the grid. Some of the key highlights of this project. So it's a 50 megawatt facility that will be interconnecting directly to the Ameren, Missouri system. It will utilize a single axis tracking mounting system, so the panels will very slowly move to track the course of the sun throughout the day to maximize the input, or sorry, the output and production of the facility. To kind of provide a frame of reference in terms of how much electricity that's generating, the facility will produce enough electricity to power about 9,000 homes. And the facility will, over its useful life, is projected to contribute tax revenues to the county.
David, you're past your 3 minutes. Do you, I'll give you 30. Can you close up
Yes,
at about?
I can. Yes,
Okay.
thank you very much. So it'll be producing about $5 million over the course of its useful life, 150 construction jobs, and an additional $2 million investment. I'll skip over some of the drainage features since those were covered. And I think I will just say overall that as Rita pointed out from the city, the facility will comply with all state and local regulations around the drainage and any other environmental concerns. Things like the requirements for vegetative screening have been taken into consideration in the site plan. And the facility will be deployed in a safe and sound way meeting industry best practices.
Thank you, David.
What's the lifespan of the panel?
The lifespan
Of the panel?
So they typically have a warranty good for 30 years. And so even at 30 years, they're guaranteed for about 80% production, so they would still continue to be able to produce power beyond that.
Now you have a picture here with, I guess, all the dreams of all the solar panels. Is that going in at once, or would that be staged out? Like one,
Steve,
you have this.
this is a hearing, so we're going to be listening, and then if we want to make some comments.
Oh, I thought we could ask some questions. Oh, we can't? Okay. Well, my bad. That's one of these. Okay.
Thank you, David.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, Mr. Corman, you're next.
One copy, but if you don't have questions on the dynamite brought up, there's a code down there.
Dynamite?
Yeah, there's a waste storage site.
Did you find it?
Mark, if you go ahead and state your name and address for the record.
What's that?
State your name and address for the record.
I'm Mark Corman. I reside at 22453 Audrey Road, 826, Mexico, Missouri. The reason I purchased the property, because it wasn't city limits, so the whole property was for sale at the same time. Actually, it was offered to me before through the realtor, and I only really wanted the open ground that was in city limits because it is zoned properly for commercial use. When I was looking at the project, I have another project, another property, Teva, that also sitting empty, and my thoughts were we could get this money, this land, paying us money and bringing in income to the county, as long as it also helps me. I'm not gonna lie to you. So once this project's done, we want to move on and try and get Teva back up and running. There's someone out there running in that location also. I don't know if everybody realizes I have another business, Fluid Power Support. We have about 100 employees, and right now, in my opinion, this is the perfect type of a project because it's so hard to get employees. And if we bring another, and if Amy brings another business to town, we're all going to be fighting for more employees. And this project actually will bring outsiders in to build it, which will help the community, and it will also limit the amount of employees that will try to steal from other companies. We have a problem. We all just try to steal back and forth from each other. It's not a very healthy environment for employers or employees. But I left you a covenant there in the zoning meeting when the dynamite was brought up that it's in waste dump site 8 from AP Greens. It's been there for longer than probably I was born. But they were responding that it was dangerous, but I want to point out the fact that if it's so dangerous, why they drive over it every time they come in the building, out of the premises. It's right in the road. So it came to that awful dangerous. The other thing is I know it's not the ideal thing to have to view all the time, but from 54, when you go past there, if you're doing the speed limit, you're not going to see it 30 seconds. And from the entryway of where the gate starts to the end of my property, if you're driving 15 miles an hour, you're only seeing it for 2 minutes. And an easement is ingress and egress. It's not for visibility. Get to your property.
Are you ready to finish?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, who's next?
You ready to take opposition, Aaron?
Yeah.
Can you get that in? I don't have these from you. Also, This was our opposition letter that we provided to P&Z. I think it's in the packet already. Place that in record. Council, Mayor, thank you very much for your time. My name is Dan Peters. I'm an attorney with Hanson Davis. I represent a couple of property owners south of this proposed project, particularly some companies called Three Amigos, Green Stanley, ELT. They have representatives here this evening. When our clients bought their property, there was no proposed solar farm. There was not even allowed solar farm on this property. I first want to applaud the City of Mexico. You have a great city. I appreciate the dynamics here, the site, AP Green, the history you have, the burdens that you've overcome. You've done much better than most towns in the Midwest. You're doing really well. I know there's always a balance between business and residential and enjoyment, so there's different perspectives. Certainly my clients acquired their property and been enjoying it for the green space, the recreational use, hunting, fishing, camping, get away from it all, peacefulness that is part of the Mexico community as well. We would like to express our concerns over the speed of this project. We were just finding out about it in the past few months. I understand we did a lot of work before that. But we have a lot of questions. The city hasn't been able to produce all the documentation yet on those questions. We've only got a couple minutes, so you know the concerns that you have to look at. You have to evaluate the impact on the general welfare of your community. You have to look at such things as buffering, which is a big issue, screening. Your ordinance provides, this project must provide screening to my client's property. Right now, they have their panels going right up to the property line. Let's call it what it is. 80% of the solar panels are manufactured in China. Those panels, it's very important to understand, they can contain scheduled hazardous chemicals, selenide and cadmium. Thank you. We don't control the manufacturing of those panels. We don't control the protection of those chemicals, those hazardous substances within those panels. Our concerns is you're clearing this land, you're going to have water runoff, and who's behind this project? I've heard Birch, but Birch may want to speak. I don't think Birch is authorized to do business in the state of Missouri. I haven't been able to find it. I don't know what they are compared to Envoy. Envoy appears to be owned by Azimuth. Azimuth appears to be owned by a capital company that's one of the partners of Tom Carney. Who is the actual owner of this project? Who's going to operate this project? And are there federal funds being used to develop this project? Are there ARP funds being used to develop this project, as were the wind farms? Because if you want to talk about $5 million into the schools, which I don't see how that's happening, what is that, property taxes over 30, 40 years versus how much of your constituents' tax dollars are being used for this project. And finally, big issue, who's putting up the bond for decommission? Mr. Hague was starting to touch on that. You must have a bond for decommission. What if this project stalls? What if it doesn't stick around? Who's going to clean up? Thank you.
Anybody else tonight? Now, let's see.
I'm a proponent in my
You have 3 minutes. You're different. Yeah.
It's Daniel Siegel, 2650 Locust in St. Louis, Missouri. So I'm the CEO of Birch Creek. As David mentioned, we work in partnership with him on this project. So we are the current owners of the project. We acquired development rights from Azimuth about a year ago. But of course, we still work in partnership as we're developing this project. It's a St. Louis-based company, Birch Creek. We have 30 people working for us. We develop projects all across the country in a variety of different communities and different types of locations. We're excited to be building this in Missouri. We're excited to be here in Mexico. We think it'll bring a lot of advantages and tax revenue to the community. I can tell you, whenever I've been in this business for 12 years, I used to be at U.S. Bank. I financed gigawatts of solar all across the U.S. I know that there might be concerns about toxic materials. I can tell you, when we finance these transactions, there's layers and layers and layers of people looking at all angles of this, including independent engineers, in which we have and will be hired. There is a decommissioning bond. We are prepared to commission the property at the end of the useful life of the project. For the moment, though, this has been a long road for us, and we're excited to be here at this point right now. So, thank you.
Anybody else? Yeah, you went under, you were under 3 minutes.
Yeah, well, you scared me. My name is Jason Kelling. I'm with Three Amigos Farms, adjoining property owner. Address is 530 Austin Drive, Washington, Missouri. As I made the point before, that's where I reside, but I've made certainly more of an investment in Mexico than I have in Washington, though I love both communities. I'm certainly not anti-solar, and I'm certainly not anti-Mr. Foreman making a profit on his land. It just seems like for the first project in this area, this is such an aggressive proposal. We just learned about it a few months ago, and it's already at the final stages. As an adjoining property owner, that's very concerning. As mentioned, the property lines are going right up to the borders. We're encompassing every square inch of open property on this parcel, and then some, and then clearing additional ground to make more open property to make the project even more visible to adjoining landowners. When you think about what will represent and be known as the gateway, the entrance monument to the City of Mexico, I haven't timed the number of seconds that you will see it, but everyone will know from now on, City of Mexico, when you come in and you see the hundreds of thousands of solar panels, they're not attractive. They're will be encompassed by over 6 miles of 8-foot fencing that we all know will not be in great repair in just a few years, and the weeds and the solar panels. I would just plead with you to come up with certain restrictions, setbacks, screenings, boundary to make this a friendly transaction for all if you see your ways for approving this project, so that we can have good partnership with neighbors rather than flexing the elbows all the way out to the, to the bitter end and then beyond.
Thank you. Anybody else tonight?
Yes, ma'am. One more. Hello. My name is Paul Lieser, L-I-E-S-E-R. I reside at 933 Edgerton Court, Baldwin, Missouri, 63011. And I am one of a few property owners there on the map we saw earlier. I represent the Green Lake Stanley ownership group, of which is my brother, my nephew, and a friend. Anyway, we purchased the property about 3 years ago, prior to any additional changes in the zoning permits there. We made a significant investment. Combined between the property owners, we have over $3 million in purchased land here. And we are on the cusp of seeing the property value diminish significantly if this solar farm goes through. Since we own the property, our intention has been to come up here and hunt, fish, camp, and possibly build some houses. We've been in discussion with Ameren UE for the last 6 months to run electrical service through our property because there is none. There's no plumbing, there's no electrical service there now. And so we've been investing. We've invested already money in the road that they want to tear apart and relocate. And again, our investment and our interest in this property were strictly for the nature that it brings to us, fishing, hunting, camping. And we've been doing that. And while we come up here and visit and utilize the property, we're spending money here at the local businesses. We're eating at the restaurants. We're buying gas locally and doing other things, buying lumber. And so I think we've been adding to, in our own little way, a little bit of the revenue stream that Mexico's looking for. But one thing's for sure, if this project goes through, our property values and everything that we intended to use it for will be significantly damaged, and we don't want that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, then we'll move to close the public hearing. Second.
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes. Now we need a motion. Bruce, we need a motion. Okay. Yeah. I move that we, after listening to these people and looking at the planning and zoning's report, in which the planning and zoning discussion said that they regard this additional use permit as a go to issue it. Therefore, I make a motion that we issue an additional use permit.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Hague,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you, presentations. Turning back recording. Okay, we'll go on to resolutions, and the first one on the agenda is a bill number 2023. Mr. Schlegel.
Yes, this is a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute agreements with various organizations for recommended funding from the Mexico tourism tax. The Tourism Commission has met and has some recommendations, and to cover those recommendations, Roger Haynes.
Good evening, Council. The Mexico Tourism Commission met on Tuesday, March 28th via Zoom, and as part of that meeting, reviewed applications to promote tourism in the community. The first organization requesting funding was the Mexico JCs for their upcoming 2023 Soybean Festival, which will be held on Friday and Saturday, August 25th and 26th. They requested for advertising an amount of $5,050, and the commission recommends that same amount, $5,050. Second item given consideration, the Mexico Tourism Commission wishes to utilize the advertising scheme of Missouri Life, which is a magazine that promotes tourism throughout the state. The advertising plan that was reviewed has an amount requested of $13,950, and the commission does request that amount be granted. Just a little bit about the Missouri Life advertising agreement. That would be 6 advertisements running from the July/August 2023 issue through the June issue of 2024. We have used Missouri Life on a number of occasions, a number of years to promote tourism activities in the Mexico area. We have not the last 2 years, and it was basically the impact of the COVID pandemic, for which a lot of traveling was reduced. Staff recommends that council concur with the Mexico Tourism Commission's recommendation and proceed with reading by title only and passage of the attached resolution. Does that answer any questions?
I'm just curious, new guy. Missouri Life I'm familiar with, but what will it be promoting about Mexico? What will they add to promote? Tourism?
All of the various events that we hold in Mexico, such as Miss Missouri, the Soybean Festival, Walk Back in Time, maybe events at Presser as far as cultural plays, things of that nature. On average, it's going to promote between 15 and 20 different tourism type activities that will take place in the Mexico area.
Do we think we'll get good results, obviously, from those ads?
Yes. It covers not only the whole state, but it catches the bordering states too through their tourism centers.
Okay. Thank you.
I move for the reading of Bill 2023-18.
Second.
Hague,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes. Bill number 2023-18, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with various organizations for recommended funding from the Mexico tourism tax. I move for passage of Bill 2023-18.
Second.
Hague,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Okay, bill number 2023-19, Mr. Hague, Mr. Slagle.
Yeah. Your Honor, this is a resolution authorizing the city manager into agreement with the Optimus Club of Mexico, Missouri to assist them in providing services to the community. This is our annual contribution and our annual agreement to offset costs have they to do programs. To cover the agreement, Chad Shoemaker.
Thank you. Good evening. The attached resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Optimus Club of Mexico to assist in providing services to the Mexico community. The 2022-2023 budget allows for the city of Mexico to contribute $5,000 to assist them in offsetting operational costs related to providing programs and activities for the Mexico community. As you know, the Optimus Club has carried the brunt of youth sports in this community for a long time, and they would have a very difficult time making their ends meet without these dollars. So staff recommends that the City of Mexico and the Optimus Club of Mexico enter into an agreement that the City Council proceed with reading by title only and passage of the attached resolution.
I move for reading of bill number 2023-19.
Second.
Hay.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Bill number 2023-19, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Optimus Club of Mexico, Missouri to assist in providing services to the Mexico community. I move for passage of bill number 2023-19.
Second.
Hay.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
I move we pay the bills. Are you okay with
All
that?
right, that's the next thing on. I second it.
Hay.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Okay. Next thing on the agenda, our last item of business is comments from the public. Anybody?
Council.
Council first.
Did I go the wrong place? No? Council. Oh, comments from the council. Sorry, guys, I'll get it. From the council, Steve, do you want to start?
I can. Just first of all, I'd like to thank the voters for allowing me to serve again for another 3 years. I look forward to working with everybody. I've learned a lot, and as I've said before, it's just a great group of people. You all do a great job. It makes our jobs easier up here because we just have all the information, and I look forward for my next 3 years, and hopefully I can be more impactful as I know what's happening. To Mr. Weber, congratulations. Welcome to council again, and I look forward to working with you. Dr. Shivers, thank you. Great working with you. I learned a lot, how to do this job, the questions to ask, and your support. I appreciate it. So if you want to come back sometime and serve with us again. Mayor Briggs, congratulations.
Thank you,
so
Steve.
I know you're excited about doing it, and we're excited about having you. I think something we probably need to look at, Chad, is the dog park. I know that it came up in our little thing, and I'd heard it before that, but as we move forward, I think as I look at my next 3 years, I talked about, just trying to get more for our hourly workers, our public safety, and I think something we probably need to work into there is the budget is looking at somewhere we can put that dog park, looking what can be feasible to put into that budget. I think that 3% tax on marijuana will help out a little bit. And I know we got some more use tax stuff coming, but I think that's some stuff as we move forward towards our budget discussions is some that we could go from there. But other than that, I'm glad to be back, and so look forward to the next 3 years. And
Well, thank you
and so,
very much.
yeah.
Okay. Chris?
Well, first of all, thank you, Ayanna, for all your years of service and for years as mayor, and you did a fine job, and we appreciated your service, and as Steve said, come back sometime if you want to. We'll put you on again. Other than that, again, it was too bad that we didn't have more than about 19% of the voters vote, but the outcome came, and it's all right. I wish more people were involved in our community than 19% or something like that. But they are. Good luck, Mr. Weber. Thank you, having you on the board. Good luck, Mayor Briggs. And that's it for me.
Okay, thank you. Larry?
I look forward to working with the staff. I know many of you, not all. I'm looking forward to get to know the rest of you, and looking forward to working with the public and the rest of the council. I know everybody except Mr. Williams. I'm looking forward to meeting him and working with him. Particularly, I want to say something to Coach Haig. He's been my hero all my life.
Wow.
When I grow up, I want to be like him. I do look forward to everybody. And I appreciate this public's, I don't know whether to call it their faith in me or not, but I appreciate the votes anyway.
Okay, thank you.
And one thing I do want to mention, I noticed on the 5 o'clock news this evening as I was waking up from my nap, that Fulton, Missouri has been nominated for an All-American City Award, and Mexico received, I don't know how many of those, more than one, I believe, back in the late 50s, if I'm not mistaken. I'm that old, I remember it. Just don't remember exactly when. But I think that's something that we should maybe take a look at trying to qualify for. I think that Fulton's done a nice job of building up their downtown, fixing up their downtown, making it pretty, whatever. And I think that we need to take a look at what the criteria might be for that award and see if we can gradually move towards something like that being nominated. I don't know if it'll be selected or not. The nomination is pretty darn good. So.
Thank you. Well, thank you all. And again, I want to say thank you, Ayanna, and congratulations to Steve and Larry. And really, you want to be Steve.
Oh, I want to be just like Steve.
All right. I'll try. I appreciate being elected mayor, and I'll do my best, although tonight I feel a little nervous about it. And but I'm looking forward to a good year working with the staff, work with you, Mr. Schlegel. And so with that, I'll close my comments, and we can have a motion for adjournment.
Public.
I'll forget the public. Okay.
Bruce, have anything?
You can ask Bruce.
All right. Ask Bruce. See, I'll get it.
Again, congratulations on the election. Ayanna, you missed the comments earlier, but the comments that I did make, so I'll try to make them again for you, which was, it's been a pleasure getting to know you and to work with you the last 6 years, and I appreciate what you've done for the community. Thank you.
All right. So we all take care of it. Okay, except for public comment. Okay, guys, we'll do public comment now, and you can go to the mic. You've got 3 minutes. State your name, where you live.
Chris Dubrow, 1115 East Promenade, here in Mexico. First off, I want to say thank you to Bruce and to Drew for doing the study on the traffic flow over at McMillan School on Anderson Street, but I don't think it went far enough. I didn't realize this until last week. I was talking with some of the neighbors over there, my mom and a couple of her neighbors. You all didn't canvass any of the residents to find out their opinion on whether there's a problem. You just took the flow study and said, oh, there's not a problem. There's a problem. It's starting to come back. And you guys went over there and you have a strong police presence in the area. Still, I understand. I've seen it myself a couple times, but they're starting to park again in front of driveways. And it's not just my mom's and her neighbors, it's a couple others down the street. 4 out of the 5 residents on that block from McMillan School down to the entry to Northeast Park, 4 out of 5 of them are 80 plus. 80 plus. If they have a medical condition, again, I know they're going to do everything they can to get in there. I understand it and I believe them. But they shouldn't have to. You got to start listening to the residents. Instead of taking your study and going, okay, we don't have a problem. My request tonight is, I talked with a school board member, I'm not going to say who, but they told me that the school doesn't see it as a problem, that's their problem. They admit there's a problem. They think there's a problem. It's not their problem. It's a city problem because it's on a city street. I had to point out to the school board member that it's their service that's causing the parking problem. So it becomes a school problem as well as a city problem. So I want to reiterate and ask the council, please form a committee. I'll be glad to serve on the committee to talk about this issue. There are options, solutions. Build a road around behind McMillan, there's space. You use the parking lot in existence there already. There's space. But nobody wants to do anything because it doesn't affect them, so it's not a problem to them. Well, it is a problem to the residents over that area, and they've been battling it for years. All I'm asking is for a little consideration in listening to the residents, talking with the residents, and forming a committee with the school district to find out a solution, if there is a solution to this problem. That's all I'm asking, because I'm worried about my mom. I'm worried about her neighbors. I'm worried about them having to schedule time to not leave their house because of parking issues. They can't get in and out of their driveway, so they can't leave their house, or they can't get back in their driveway if they do option to leave the house. Shouldn't be that way, folks. I would like for a committee to be formed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Anybody else? Oh, our favorite person.
I get to say this again. Rivers 1426 Arcadia. I would say it feels good to be on this side, but it really doesn't. It's bittersweet, but congratulations to Steve and Larry. I know you guys will all do a great job. Vicki, congratulations on becoming mayor. You're the only female now, so you gotta hold it up. Chris, it's been a pleasure serving with all of you and being under your leadership. And just knowing you're not totally getting rid of me. I've already said that I will serve on some boards or whatever is needed, because just like tonight, one of the reasons I chose to get off the board, I was rushing from my job in Jeff City, and I've been getting more and more responsibilities there, and just didn't feel like I could serve Mexico to the extent that I think we deserve. But, you know, Mexico is my heart. And of course, if I just told you, if they decide they need to do one of those committees to look at that school parking, I'd be happy to serve on that too. So, thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Liana. We will miss you. Okay. All right, guys, want to adjourn? If we have to have a motion.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.